I was a massive fan of Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory growing up. Yes, Willy Wonka. I'm talking, of course, about the film. The book had a different title, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. It was just this brilliant part of childhood. It was a film which was basically thrown on whenever there was too much rain to go out at school. And Gene Wilder's performance as Wonka was fantastic. The Oompa Loompa songs, everything. The film was just one of those pieces of magic that if I watch it now, I can go straight back to childhood. But obviously, Roald Dahl's books are currently in the news. In new editions of Dahl's books, passages have been altered which relate to weight, mental health, gender, and race. The changes have been made by Puffin Books, a division of Penguin, and they were reported by Britain's Daily Telegraph newspaper. They change things in subtle ways. One, Augustus Gloop is not referred to as fat. He's referred to as enormous. Mrs. Trunchbull in another book is not referred to as ugly and beastly. She's merely referred to as beastly. But obviously this has started arguments. Are people overly sensitive? Are we a snowflake generation? Personally, for me, I'm very anti-censorship, and I would leave the books as they are, but I would add something to the front of them which explains the times and contexts in which they were written, and how some things might not be as acceptable now. But people are acting like this is the first time that anything in Roald Dahl's work has been challenged, and it's far from that. Now, lots of people will think of Oompa Loompas and they'll instantly picture the ones from the fabulous film. Orange skin, green hair. Oompa Loompas haven't always looked like that. That's not how they were initially described by Dahl. In the version first published, the Oompa Loompas were a tribe of 3,000 black pygmies who were imported by Mr. Willy Wonka from the very deepest, darkest parts of the African jungle, where no white man had been before. And Mr. Wonka kept them in his factory where they replaced the sacked white workers. And Wonka's little slaves, which basically they are, let's admit it, were delighted with their new circumstance and loved their diet of chocolate, having before lived on green caterpillars, eucalyptus leaves and such. When the book first appeared in the United States, this was completely unchallenged. It wasn't until 1972, nearly a decade later, that a wide-ranging attack on the book was published by an American writer, Eleanor Cameron. And people finally started to debate this aspect of the story. There was a bit of back and forth between Dahl and Cameron, but essentially Dahl's publishers decided that things had to change. The Oompa Loompas were no longer acceptable as they were originally written, and the following year, to accompany the sequel book Charlie and the Great Glass Elevator, a revised edition of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory was released, in which the Oompa Loompas had become dwarfish hippies with long golden brown hair and rosy white skin. So it's funny to think for all these people that are saying this book shouldn't be changed and oh my god they're touching this classic which has existed the same way, or no, it hasn't. It has been changed in the past. Also, people have argued that Roald Dahl himself wouldn't approve. Well, this is where you have to remember that Roald Dahl didn't actually approve of Gene Wilder as Willy Wonka. And to me that is complete madness. I do not think that the whole story of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory would continue to be as popular as it is to this day without the fantastic contribution on film of Mr. Wilder. The man just is Willy Wonka to me. I don't see any of the pencil drawings when you say Willy Wonka. I instantly see Gene Wilder in my head. All in all you ever hear about Gene Wilder is what a wonderful, respectful, caring, loving person he was. And quite bluntly, if you didn't like Gene Wilder, Mr. Dahl, you can fuck off and go suck a dick. I'm not really worried if the books have been changed. The film's where it's at for me, as unfashionable opinion as that probably is. Anyway, I just wanted to touch upon this, and again, I do not believe in censorship. Print them, But for me, what this book, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, really needs is like a big special edition book which has all of the changes involved in it, explains the book's place in history, explains everything around it. Because I just think it's one of those books where there's almost as much story around it as there is in it. Apparently, there was an extra child who was cut from the story. The thing was a lot darker at one point, almost a sore for kids. So I don't want to see things cut from it, I want to see more about it. But at the end of the day, when I want Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, I'm going to go and watch Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory to see some Gene Wilder. Okay, it's Kerr9000 signing out. Take care of yourselves, each other. Laters, taters.
A Squaffy Bear production.
Hi, it's Kerr9000, the Chrome-Faced Man. I'd just like to say thank you for making it to the end of my video. I've got lots of stuff on my channel. My Horror House doing horror reviews, Games Room doing games, Sci-Fi Station. It's absolutely chock-a-block full. I can also be found on the Retro Gamer U forum, which is full of great people, great laugh. At the end of this video there's going to be some little icons to tick if you want to subscribe, a link to one video, a link to a playlist. I'd also like to recommend the wonderful, talented Just Jessica, who does cosy games like Dreamlight Valley and is my supportive partner. Thank you ever so much once again for watching my video, and particularly if you follow me, thank you for all your support. And have a great rest of your day.